after Salah, after Maghrib. Inshallah. After Maghrib, Sheikh.
After Maghrib?
Yeah.
You want to put it online?
طيب. Assalamu alaikum, Jureej. طيب. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Yesterday, I believe there was a question that came from Singapore, with regards to a man sitting with his leg crossed, one leg over the other. The hadith in the Musnad Imam Ahmad, is that authentic or not, and what's the ruling on that, if I'm not mistaken. To keep things brief, this hadith, among many others, is considered to be an example of a sub-study of hadith, a field, a sub-genre called ilm mukhtalif al-hadith, or mushkil al-athar, conflicting narrations, in which one narration says do, and another narration says don't. One narration says the Prophet did it, and another narration says the Prophet warned from it. Some conflict. And the correct view with regards to this issue is that the Prophet ﷺ, he forbade a man from laying on his back and placing one leg like this or sitting one leg like that out of fear of the exposing of the awrah. Fearing that the awrah would be exposed. Whereas the Sahaba, radiallahu anhum, back then, they often wore izar. They wore an izar. And they didn't have pants, a thobe, shorts, this and that, so on and so forth. Everybody clear on this? So if a man is just wearing an izar, and if he sits a certain way, perhaps his awrah could become what? Exposed. And the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ sat in a certain way with his legs, or he allowed the people, that is when the awrah, there's no fear for it to be what? Exposed. So this is the summary on this issue. It's permissible to sit like that, and any other way or style, as long as there isn't an authentic hadith that goes against it, whether it's an issue of imitating the opposite sex, so on and so forth. Even sitting like that, with your hand back, and hadith about that, that's a long discussion with its authenticity as well. I didn't say it's haram. Tayyib. Khairan, inshallah ta'ala. So that's the summary of that issue. It's permissible with those conditions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Hopefully that's the answer to the question, in brief.
How can I support the HadithDisciple movement?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Question coming from London, UK. How can I support the HadithDisciple movement? May Allah bless you in both worlds. You can support the HadithDisciple movement in many different ways. By you watching, listening, asking a question is support. By you giving advice, constructive criticism, even refuting is support. People that hate on HadithDisciple, that's supporting HadithDisciple. Financially supporting HadithDisciple, speaking good, doing whatever you can. That's all a part of what? The support. So do whatever you can, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. If you watch, if you want to transcribe a lecture, put together a book from the many faidas and classes and khutbahs, if you want to donate, whatever you want to do. There are many different ways of supporting and helping out. And bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, anyone's support is always needed and appreciated. Jazakallahu khairan. There is no form. There's no form. You support HadithDisciple however you want to, however you can. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and reward you well.
Khidr al-Nasir from Medina, Saudi Arabia, Barakallahu Feek. Ustad, should a student of knowledge focus solely on memorizing the Quran focusing on memorizing Hadith, or should he do both?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hayyakum Allah. Question coming from Medina with regards to a student of knowledge solely focusing on memorizing the Quran versus focusing on memorizing the Quran along with some hadiths on the side. The answer has to depend on the student. How old are you? How long are you planning on staying in Medina? And what level in your studies are you in? If you're in a language program, it's not like you being in a college. The first year of the college is not like the last year of the college. You plan to do master's or diploma or PhD, it's not like you having the intention of going back to your country right after you finish the bachelor's program. Everybody clear on this? So if you're younger, or if you have plans on taking things slow, then you have more time to focus and to spearhead your efforts and energy on one thing. It also depends on, are you a multitasker? or do you have to stay focused on one thing? The general rule is that whatever you memorize and study from Arabic, from Hadith, outside of the Quran, helps you to memorize the Quran and helps you to retain the Quran and helps you to understand it. Arabic and the Quran go hand in hand. Hadith and Quran go hand in hand. Your studies, your knowledge, your discipline goes what? Hand in hand. So it depends on what type of person you are. It depends on what type of seeker of knowledge you are. A brother who has to go back to his country and he has a lot of responsibilities and he has many hats to wear. He has to be more well-rounded. That's not like someone who's going back to a city or a town in which there are brothers who recite the Quran, in which they need him to speak or to give the rulings or to study this or explain that. It's a difference. So it all depends. What's important is the Prophet says the best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach it to others. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Wabillahi tawfiq. Wa alaikum assalam.
This is AA from London, UK. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I wanted to ask about protective jealousy over one's wife. Some may be evil or controlling. What is the balance? Also in terms of obeying the husband, must she obey in things which are just general day-to-day matters?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Question is coming again from one of the disciples in the United Kingdom, London. Protective jealousy over one's wife. And does a wife have to obey her husband in everything, even if it isn't religious based, from simple day-to-day issues, etc.? I'll say this, is that there's a thin line between protective jealousy and between insecurity. There's a thin line between protective jealousy and between accusing your wife of being unchaste. There's a thin line between protective jealousy and between being extreme. So I don't like him shake. Being extreme. There's a thin line. A man who has a wife and he has no jealousy, no protective jealousy at all. He doesn't care what his wife says, what she does, where she goes, how she dresses. He doesn't have no care or concern. Something is lacking about his manhood. Something is lacking about his manhood. And a man who's superly duperly insecure, and every 5 seconds he's looking at his wife, grabbing his wife, pushing his wife. Who are you looking at? You smiled at that man. You did this. You did that. It's something lacking with his manhood as well. Just like all other issues of Islam, it has to be a balance. A balance. A man is supposed to be the qawwam. He's the protector, the maintainer. He's supposed to be the breadwinner. He's the hunter-gatherer. He's the head of the hut. But that doesn't mean that he has no respect and trust for his wife. It doesn't mean that you micromanage. Micromanagement is dangerous and disastrous, in which every single small, minute detail you want to control and dominate and dictate to your wife. Not only is that non-Islamic, against the way of the Prophet ﷺ, but it is dangerous. It's dangerous. And most people who micromanage, in most cases you find them lacking in many basic things regarding their own religion and their own worldly life. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that the man is a shepherd. And he also said that the woman is a shepherd. The woman has her space, she has her power, she has her realm and her sphere, and so does the man. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. A man is not like the woman. And most people today, in light of the feminist movement or chauvinistic movement, they only understand this verse in one light. One light. That men are better than women, men are superior to women, etc. And a woman can't do what a man does. That's it. That's only partially true. But the verse also means that there are things that a man cannot do that a woman can do. Because the dhakar is not like the untha. Certain things, once you touch and you meddle with and you put your hands on, you'll mess up and destroy. And it's well known. It's what? It's well known. So, protective jealousy, there are hadiths that clearly support that. And jealousy in general, jealousy for your faith. The jealousy that Allah has when a slave makes the fahisha. Everybody understand this? Jealousy for the deen, for your brothers, for knowledge, for your family, no doubt. There's no true love without jealousy. There's no true love what? Without jealousy, but there is a level and there is a limit. Insecurity, micromanagement, being an iron-fisted dictator over your wife. That's something that's not the way of the Prophet. Rather, the Prophet used to serve his wife and help out his wife. And the Prophet, on many occasions, he sought the counsel of his wives. And he asked them their advice. So no true man who's confident and secure is going to be like that, extreme. Rather, that's a major manifestation of inner weakness. Of inner what? Weakness. If you're doing your job Islamically, if you're doing your job and you're handling responsibilities as a man physically and taking care of your wife and serving your wife and fulfilling your wife, how much worry do you have to have? How insecure do you have to be? Unless you know or feel that you're really not what? Doing your job. On any meaning of the word, huh? So that's my advice on this issue. And Allah knows best. I hope this makes sense, Abu Talha, to the people, inshallah. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد.